Greetings. We are going to talk about the decoy effect, and this is formed by Alex, Maria, Pedro Miguel, Carlos, and Pedro Elias. The main definition is that in behavioral economic concept of nudge theory, mentioned by James Wilk in 1995, it states that by changing the environment, people can be directed to feel what is right decision while being unaware of that. The main appliance is the decoy effect, where people will be biased with an unattractive or more expensive option in order to make more attractive or alternatives. Initially, it was implemented for marketing strategies, but nowadays it's used in other fields such as healthcare, education, and even politics, among others.
Well, when we start talking about decoy effect, we must take the definition of asymmetrically dominated is when an option is worse in all aspects than another option, but when compared to a third option, it is worse in some respects and better in others. Well, it occurs when people tend to have a change in preference between two options, target and competitor, when a third option, asymmetrically dominated, is presented. And on decoy effect, we will see three options, the target, the competitor, and the decoy. Now we'll see the decoy effect on consumers.
Okay, so starting the decoy effect as the point of view of the consumers, we can say that to make decisions as consumers, it is necessary to know the relative data. That is the value of the other products to compare it and be sure that it offers a good value for money. This we can see in this example of popcorn. If we only have a small and large options, people normally are going to choose the small one because is the cheapest. But if we put a decoy, what is named the decoy option, that is a less attractive option, in this case is the medium one, which has a similar price of the large one. The majority of people is going to choose the large one. But basically the decoy effect in consumers is this: when you deliberately present with a third less attractive option, in this case of the popcorn, the medium size, that makes you pay more than you would have rationally paid. I have two more examples here. In the case of McDonald's, we have like these three types of hamburgers: the small one, the medium one, and the large one. In this case, the decoy, it could be the double hamburger, and people, the majority of people should buy the triple one because of the differences of the prices. Another example is the Starbucks coffee. These consists in, like, you have the same, a small type and a large type. You put the decoy option in, like, as a medium size, and we expect that more people choose the large size because of the differences of the prices.
So the decoy effect, we're going to talk about businesses now. So businesses use the decoy effect to influence consumers to buy a desirable product. And this can help increase their profit margins by mainly decreasing inventory costs. And it is also heavily used to sell higher quantities of larger or higher quality products. And what it does is it gives businesses the psychological power to control some degree of consumer behavior. And so my first example is subscription for newspaper. So here we have a newspaper service. They price an online only option of $50, a print only option of $95, and online plus print option of $100. In the newspaper industry, there are high costs to actually physically producing a newspaper and delivering it to a consumer. And so the company wants you to use the service online. And so by offering the Decoy of a print only at $95, they can get more consumers to buy the online print only option and eventually hope that more consumers will downgrade to the online only option and thus cut their costs more. All right, next. And so another example in practice is California wine judging. And so in California and many other places, wineries will submit their wines to judging panels in various regions. And in this system, a panel of 3 judges will rate each wine on the scale above. And so it goes from no award all the way to double gold. And for a wine to be no award, it has to be really flawed to the point that probably nobody in this room would like it. And a double gold just means that every judge gave it gold. And so if we are looking at the prices of this, you'll see that a bronze for firm X, their bronze wine would be marketed at $12.99, their silver wine $34.99, and their gold wine $39.99. And so the firm wants you to buy the gold wine as it is their best quality product. And so they are using this kind of pricing scheme to influence your behavior. And how this is useful is that number one, it influences the consumer into becoming more loyalty to your gold wine if you're convinced that it's a good value for the cost. And number two is that it helps them sell more of this gold wine and is used in a bigger scheme of marketing. And so by firms using a Decoy pricing scheme, they can leverage their wine's awards for marketing purposes and in the long run increase consumers' preferences towards their product.
The decoy effect can also be seen in government and public policy, as in due to the fact that when designing public policies that involve a choice of some kind from the citizens, a third option or a decoy can be used to make one of the initial options seem more attractive. Recent applications of the decoy effect have shown that it can also be used to promote cooperation, which can be especially helpful for public policy that helps environmental conservation efforts. An example of how this can help improve volunteering and cooperation can be seen in that many public policies rely on individual citizens volunteering or deciding to cooperate with others in order to help for a greater cause. And recent studies have shown that when people are given a third alternative, not only to cooperate or not, but in this case to cooperate and also donate money, a larger proportion of people will choose to cooperate than when given only 2 options. This way, the decoy effect can be used to promote certain public policies that depend on people volunteering and deciding to cooperate with their fellow citizens.
Well, in conclusion, we might say that decoy effect leverages consumers' focus on price, quality, and quantity of products to achieve a desired outcome. Also, the stress decision-making process and calm our anxiety of having differentiated options to choose from. It helps to diminish the paradox of choice that describes how people have a hard time making decisions when presented with different options. It also takes advantage of loss aversion, can strongly influence the behavior in part by manipulating a reference point, and finally, the next best product is selected when compared to the decoy. Well, this concludes our presentation on decoy effect. Thank you for your interest and for your attention.